Realizing speaking goals. In the well-planned classroom, a child has many opportunities to speak. Oral language is the foundation of literacy learning. Sometimes activities are planned, but for the most part, most productive ones are the unplanned ones. Class discussion is paramount. A dynamic class is where discussion and action reign. In this type of classroom, true literacy emerges. The teacher helps children to see the uses of speaking in social interactions in their daily lives, and also tying speech to print and reading activities when possible. Activities can be divided into 3 groups: structured, unstructured, and child-initiated. Structured activities are ones that the teacher plans. Unstructured usually happens when the teacher is working with the child at a learning center and an opportunity comes up. And child-initiated activities are those that the children's interests are explored. There are different program goals. Each child is to be helped to attain confidence in the ability to use speech with others. Enjoyment in speaking experiences in play, conversation, and in groups is a goal. Acceptance of the idea that another's speech may be different is a goal. And a higher level of interest in the meaning of new words is a speaking goal. In addition, each child is to be helped to increase his or her skills in using speech for ideas, feelings, needs, using speech to solve problems, using speech creatively in play situations, coordinating speech and body actions, and also learning how to wait for a turn to speak. Daily conversation is in a good teacher's classroom helps students feel valuable, competent, and worthwhile. The following are the attitudes and behaviors that these teachers should cultivate in their classroom. They should cultivate a concern for each child's well-being and cultivate an unwillingness to interrupt a child's conversation in order to respond to an adult. A willingness to share the small moments of a child's accomplishments. Consideration of children's verbal comments as well as their contributions. Respect for individuals' opinions. Recognition of each child's potential, and special regard for children as future leaders and discoverers. Some interactions for you in the classroom. A teacher is a speech model for children. Let the child see your face and your mouth clearly. Bend down at your knees and get at their level, and talk to them and listen to them at eye level. Use simple hand gestures that show meaning. Watch for nonverbal reactions. Talk to the nonverbal child slowly, stressing key words such as nouns and verbs. If you cannot understand a word, repeat back to the child in a relaxed way. If the child says the word lello instead of yellow, just simply say, yes, the paint is yellow, instead of calling attention to it. Articulation will improve with age and with good speech modeling. Play games in which the child can copy words or sounds. Watch the child's lead if he's interested in some activity or object, and talk about it in simple sentences. Make directions simple, and encourage the child's limitations, whether it's verbal or nonverbal. Just encourage them. Be patient and wait patiently for the child's response. Build on the child's vocabulary. For example, if a child says a one-word sentence like ball, you could say, yes, you could throw the ball, or the ball bounces. Use naming words to describe objects and actions. So if you're talking about the ball, call it the red ball. The red ball is bouncing, or the red ball is bouncing very high. Use words that describe. Use conjunctions in sentences such as and but to connect sentences. Use possessives such as mine, yours, his, hers. Use negatives such as will not, won't, don't, am not. Help the child talk about his feelings. Use previously learned words. And ask simple questions to help the child find out and discover while their interest is still high. Correct speech errors, such as when a child uses the incorrect form of a verb, such as I goed. You could tell them I went. or I wented, instead of then tell them I went. When a child speaks in a sentence and comes close to mature speech, the teacher should include appropriate classifications, such as if you're talking about animals, this animal's a cat, this animal's a dog, this animal is a squirrel. Ask questions and help the child pinpoint identifying characteristics, such as, does the animal have a tail? Does it have a snout? What do its teeth look like? Ask questions and help the child see what's alike, how it's alike, and how it's different. Ask and model sentence patterning and conversation, and ask simple questions so that the child can imitate that proper form while it's still fresh in their mind. Help the child keep their ideas in order. State instructions clearly, beginning with one, 2, and 3 step part directions. Use prepositions in speech, such as, put the toy on the shelf, please, or the blocks go inside the box. Use adjectives and comparatives, and ask the child to take simple verbal messages to another staff member. Help the child discover cause and effect, and give ownership to the ideas that children contribute. When we talk about intelligent behavior, researchers have spent some time trying to identify what is it that causes, or what is it that defines intelligent behavior. They looked at indicators by closely observing children and teachers and noted behaviors that indicated children's reasoning abilities, their insightfulness, their strategies, their perseverance, their creativity, and craftsmanship. Costa was the researcher who did this, and he identified intelligence in the following ways. Persistence, when a child sticks to something, that's a sign of intelligence. Decreasing impulsivity, the child who's able to attend to something and study it. Listening to others with understanding and empathy, so listening is a sign of intelligence. Flexibility and thinking. Metacognition, which is just simply being reflective, thinking about thinking. Checking for accuracy and precision, looking to see if they got their math right. Questioning and problem solving and problem posing. A child who wonders, I wonder what would happen if I did this, is a sign of intelligence. Drawing on past knowledge and applying it to a new situation. Precision of language and thought. Using all of their senses. Ingenuity, originality, insightfulness, as well as creativity. And wonderment, inquisitiveness, curiosity, and the enjoyment of problem solving. All of these are signs of intelligence. Some question asking techniques for the teacher. Asking questions can often intimidate a child, so you need to be careful about that. Stick to less threatening conversations, such as the child's activities and interests. Questioning can have different levels. For example, simple questioning might be recall questions. What time did you get here today? What did you have for breakfast? What color is that? Would you like a red one or a green one? The next level would be convergent thinking, which is asking a child to compare something or contrast it for its similarities and its differences. And then the higher level is called divergent thinking, and you might ask a child to predict or theorize. So, for example, ask the child, if I threw this ball and it hit this glass, what do you think would happen? What would it look like? Would someone, and ask them to theorize what would happen and all the ramifications of that. Dramatic play is the perfect place for the teacher to use this level of questioning. It can happen really anywhere in the classroom, inside or out, but dramatic play is a perfect opportunity to set up scenarios in which you would ask questions, what if type questions. And it meets them at their own level.